So back in the olden days, you probably had an exercise program that you followed to help you reach your goals. And maybe those goals were to improve muscle or to change your body shape, your body composition, to improve your fitness, to get more powerful, or just to be happier and healthier mentally. And then COVID-19 hit and the plans went out the window. But here's what should have happened. Nothing at all. Absolutely nothing. No change to what you were doing. Well, maybe some small changes, but the biggest mistake you made was going away from your program. But how is this possible? How can we keep doing what you were doing when the gyms are closed and you don't have any equipment, aside from maybe a fit ball lying around the house somewhere and a little pink dumbbell from that fitness kick of 2014? So how is it possible to stick with that program you were doing, and why is it important to do so? Firstly, let's talk about why it's so important to stick with that routine. And it's because it is quite simply a routine. And at the moment, our habits and routines have been torn away from us. We are working differently, we're watching TV differently, we're eating differently, and yes, we are exercising differently as well. But we don't need to be. That feeling of uneasiness that you get at the moment, that feeling of a weight on your shoulders or something hanging over you, that anxiety, that is caused by the lack of routine. It's caused by all of those habits and behaviors being torn away. But they don't need to be. And exercise could be that one constant, that one keystone habit that you can maintain to ensure that you lose that uneasiness and really look after your mental health. Now, chances are your goals haven't actually changed during this time. You still want to look sexier or have more muscle or lift more. You still are focusing on these same things. So it doesn't make sense that your program should have changed. So how can we keep the same program? How can we keep the same intent, even with these imposed limitations? So the first thing you need to understand is that your exercise program wasn't geared to making you better at doing your exercise program. It was geared at making you better at something else. So your program didn't tell you to do heavy squats so you could get better at heavy squats. It was so you could improve your leg strength. It didn't tell you to do lots of pull-ups so you could get better at doing lots of pull-ups. It was because it helps to improve the strength and the stamina of your body relative to your body weight. Your program didn't get you to run 400-meter repeats so you could get better at running 400-meter repeats. It was to improve your cardiorespiratory endurance and your overall health. The program was not about making you better at exercise, but about making you better at what that exercise gives you. Your program was about an intent. It was about a certain stimulus that was placed on your body and about a certain response that we were getting as a result of this stimulus. And here's the good news. There's more than one way to skin a cat. There is more than one way to exercise to get you those same results. And because you're chasing the same results, you're chasing the same goals, we can modify what you're doing to achieve that same outcome. So instead of throwing that program out the window, here's what you should do instead. Modify the program to adapt to these constraints that have been placed on us. If you want to improve your squat and you'd normally be doing heavy squats to do just that, think of other things. Think about adding some tempo into your training. Think about adding some explosive work into your training, or maybe single leg work. Do you want to improve your cardiorespiratory endurance, but the gyms are closed, so you don't have access to a treadmill? You can run outside and get that same response from a slightly different stimulus. Looking to improve your power in Olympic weightlifting, but you don't have a barbell, you don't have bumper plates, you don't have a lifting platform. How about adding some plyometric training? Now, unfortunately, the response that a lot of people have had to this crisis is to do more push-ups and sit-ups and burpees and running. And while this may be the answer to some people's exercise problems, and this may be a route or a possible solution to some people's goals, it's probably not the answer to yours. So with a bit of imagination and a bit of smarts, you can take the programming that you were doing and instead of throwing it out the window, make some changes to ensure that you are well on the way to achieving your goals.